morning, everyone. The Missouri men's basketball team pretty much has two personalities. There's home Mizzou and road Mizzou. Home Mizzou a perfect 14-0. Road Mizzou 0-5 on the season. Hayden has put in a lot of miles at Mizzou's Walton Stadium. But Hayden's also pretty good at eating foods that can be found at a concession stand. It's been an emotional week for the city of Boston. Nothing can completely heal the hearts and minds of its people, but at least for a couple hours, a baseball game brought the city of Boston together. Missouri will take on the 8th-ranked Florida Gators, which should be a tough road test. Hey everyone, St. Louis and Kansas City are on opposite sides of I-70, and the two baseball teams are on opposite sides of the win department. The Cardinals have won 20 of the last 26 games, while the Royals have lost 18 of the last 22. Now, Rockbridge leads by 11 with just under a minute to go in the game. They're looking for their 5th district championship in the past 6 years for girls. Whether it's hitting the hardwood or hitting the books, the Columbia College Cougars have had an amazing season. Okay, I just gave you a couple cliches, but the truth is the Cardinals winning has now become a cliche too. Up next for the Tigers, a road trip to Tennessee to take on the Volunteers. Now, Tennessee has yet to win an SEC game. My 2003 Chevy Impala weighs about 1.5 tons. Ted and Corey lift around 5 tons in an average workout. On to another college athlete that one day hopes to turn pro. Johnny Manziel. We all know how great he was in his Heisman-winning season, but what if he had never stepped on the field? Whether it's her knee, her ankle, or her Achilles, injuries have taken a toll on Shelley's running career, and she always knew this would be her last marathon. 19-year-old Munya Maia lost a leg to cancer 4 years ago back home in Zimbabwe.
For the first 2 years after my disability, I didn't think that I was going to play any sport at all. But when I met somebody in the streets back home, we just say, like, we have a club that where people with disabilities can play basketball. I was like, wow, great, let me join.
Munya fell in love with the sport but could only play a few times a year, and then found out about Ron Likens' basketball camp at Mizzou.
Munya was just an email that I got from the U.S. Embassy down there saying, hey, can we send this kid to camp? And I thought, well, sure, let's see what we can do. And we were fortunate enough to secure a scholarship for him to get him here, and they took care of his costs getting him here, and now he's been a part of this.
Munya loved the camp, and come this fall, he wants to come to Mizzou for good as a law student and wheelchair basketball player. While Munya is new to the game and his future here is uncertain, James Bonnet is an experienced and talented wheelchair basketball player who will be joining Mizzou's team this fall in his freshman year. James also has an interesting background. He was born in Ethiopia and at 7 months old was adopted by an American family in San Jose, California. He was born without legs, but that's never stopped him from playing sports.
It's been great for me, and it's been a fantastic and life-changing experience for me. Ever since my involvement in sports, I've always been a very social and active person because of it, and I've gotten to meet some amazing people because of the things that I do now.
Coach Likens also has a lot to be smiling about when it comes to the growth of his program.
And if we put together something of quality, a good camp here where we have good instruction and good instructors here, and we bring in good kids from all over, more and more people want to come here. So it becomes a destination where people want to be a part of this camp, and that makes us feel good because it shows us we're doing the right thing.
And doing the right has paid off for Coach Likens. In January, he was named coach of the Team USA wheelchair basketball team, something he never would have imagined when he first became involved with the sport.
I needed volunteer hours in college and didn't have a car, so I volunteered with our wheelchair basketball team on campus, and I really enjoyed it. I had a 90-hour kind of internship, and I got that done in 2 weeks, and I just continued staying with it.
One sport that's changed the lives of one man and 2 boys. Kamen Entchev, KUMU8 Sports, Columbia. Barbecue, ribs, pork, chicken, and brisket. But what does it take to impress the 6 judges and win one of these competitions?
You got 6 people that gotta love your barbecue. It doesn't matter what you think, it doesn't matter what your wife thinks, it doesn't matter what your best friend thinks. Those 6 people gotta like your barbecue. So you gotta go down the pipe, and you gotta cook it good, and you gotta get lucky.
It became more of a science. Where it used to be just throw meat into the smoker and throw a little sauce on it. Now it's became a science to the whole. People study barbecue so much
You have to baby that thing, and you have to make sure that you have the right flavors and the right things. Everything's got to have a certain mojo in order to be a winner on the table.
It's not the arrow, it's the Indian, okay? So you got to have the right equipment, you got to have the right products, but you got to know what to do with them.
The biggest thing I think that I can to tell someone, I'd say, would be to watch your temperatures. Not only your cook temperature on your cooker, but also your finished temperatures on your meat.
You can't let the heat get to you, so mentally, you have to adjust yourself. Physically, you really have to adjust yourself. Make sure you stay hydrated, drink plenty of water.
With the cooker that I have, it's set up so that I can put the meat on like around 11 o'clock midnight and let it run until about 5 in the morning. So during that 5-hour period, I can actually get some sleep before I have to get back up and check it again.
Some people say you can't call it a sport if you can drink a beer. Well, you know, people golf if they can drink a beer. I don't understand what the heck's going on, but that's okay.
Whether it's a sport or not is up for debate. But it's clear that it takes a lot to win a barbecue competition. Kamen Entchev, KOMU8 Sports, Glasgow. At the Arc, you will find plenty of young people working out. But if you head to one corner, you'll find Owen and Eska Vaughn. In fact, you can find the 80 and 81-year-olds working out at 6:30 in the morning every Monday through Friday.
We're moaning Monday. We're terrible Tuesday. We're weak Wednesday. We're tired Thursday. And it's thank God it's Friday.
Owen uses the elliptical exercise bike for 30 minutes each day, and Eska for 20.
Well, I don't think either one of us would do it if, we weren't supporting each other and doing it together. It makes it more fun. We're kind of hooked at the hips.
Could you have imagined maybe 5 years ago that you would be doing this?
No, I don't. No way.
The couple first began this workout 3 years ago after Owen had a stroke.
I'll tell you, I probably wouldn't be able to function very good if I didn't go this exercise here.
As for slowing down, well, that's not likely.
Parents lived in the 90s. His dad lived in the 90s. So I'm hoping we'll be over here when we're 91.
Last week, they celebrated 61 years of marriage. But just like it was 61 years ago, the two have always been on the same page, except for when it comes to one big detail.
I guess there's one thing that we fought on and never agreed about, and that was who loved each other the most.
Kamen Entchev, KOMU8 Sports, Columbia. Life can be shaky, unexpected. One moment, Shelley Frazier was running the Boston Marathon.
You know, I finally got to the end, across the finish line, and I thought, I finished, it's done, fantastic.
The next moment, tragedy.
And then I was walking through the finisher chute and got just to the very end and just happened to turn back around for some food and heard the explosions and saw the smoke go up in the air. Couldn't really see what was going on the ground.
It took a while to sink in.
Furthest thing from our mind was that this was some kind of terrorist attack or whatever. I mean, why would you think that? Why, you would never think that. And we were hoping maybe it was an electrical explosion or something like that. And then not too long later, the second one went off, and I think everybody at that point pretty much knew that there was something bad going on.
3 dead and more than 200 wounded by the terrorist attacks.
My immediate family was extremely concerned, and I had about 100 texts and voice messages on my phone by the time we actually had communication with the outside world that, people just asking what was going on. I was able to communicate quickly enough with people to let them know that I was okay.
It wasn't the blast, but racing itself that punished her body. Whether it's her knee, her ankle, or her Achilles, injuries have taken a toll on Shelley's running career, and she always knew this would be her last marathon.
It's been kind of a long mental journey to accept that I haven't, my run performance has declined over the years, and I finally have accepted that it's just not really fun to run 26.2 miles physically. Mentally, it's still pretty fun, but it's just not something I'm capable of doing comfortably anymore.
But that doesn't mean she can't compete. Shelly is a 2011 and 2012 world champion in bench press, and she plans to continue with lifting competitions. But because of Boston, Shelly's still leaving a very small chance that she may run competitively again.
And then when this happened, I feel almost like I'd like to go back and run it again, just to, you know, prove that the running community is resilient and that something like this won't stop us. I mean, I'm trying to encourage my friends to go back. I'm not sure if all of them are going to go back, but I'd like to, but I just can't.
The heart is willing, but while the flesh isn't weak, it won't be running competitively. Kamen Entchev, KOMU8 Sports, Columbia. 6. Ted Glasgow isn't a typical 57-year-old man. He's a 4-time Mr. Missouri champion and has also won a North American bodybuilding championship. For Ted, it all started 43 years ago.
When I was a kid, I was a little obese. Well, I was very obese, actually. I weighed like 250 pounds with a 44-inch waistline. But I had an athletic heart. I knew I wanted to be an athlete, and I just had to figure out how to get there. So weight training at first was a way for me to actually lose weight, become more athletic.
And from there, it became so much more.
The first time I stepped on stage, I knew that this was what I was meant to do.
And Ted has become an inspiration and mentor for one young man.
I think the first moment I realized that I wanted to start lifting weights seriously is the first time I seen Ted working out at the gym.
Corey Shikos, Ted's student and workout partner, participated in his first bodybuilding competition during Saturday's exhibition meet at Key Largo Fitness, and says he will continue with the sport.
I needed something to release some of my anger problems, and this was a good way to get it out without hurting any of, friends, family, somebody like that.
My 2003 Chevy Impala weighs about 1.5 tons. Ted and Corey lift around 5 tons in an average workout.
This is such a tough sport that if you don't really want to do it, you're not going to succeed. And you have to have discipline. So everything has to be done precisely. So you eat at a certain time, you work out, you do your cardio, and it has to be done on a regular basis.
And bodybuilding is not just about lifting or cardio.
No McDonald's. So when I'm getting ready for a show, I have 8 foods. So I'm eating chicken, I'm eating fish, I'm eating turkey, protein powder, spinach, cauliflower, and pretty much yogurt.
A rookie, a champion, 2 men working hard and eating right to compete in a sport they love. Kamen Entchev, KOMU8 Sports, Columbia. Like a lot of 11-year-old boys, Jordan Geyser loves playing baseball. But last June, Jordan's typical life took a tragic turn.
We went to St. Louis Children's Hospital. They confirmed that it was a large diffused B-cell lymphoma type of cancer.
The upcoming battle against cancer was tough on Jordan's little sister, Lauren Bell.
I was really sad because I didn't know what was going to happen, and I didn't know if he was going to make it or not.
Chemotherapy posed a tough challenge for Jordan, but he never let it get to him and fought through with a smile on his face.
It just made me feel really sick, but I had to go with it, because if I didn't just go with it, then it would just be like giving up.
And to his doctor's amazement, Jordan joined his love of sports with his fight against cancer.
So he probably played 30 games throughout the basketball games throughout the year while he was on chemo, and 10 pounds lighter, didn't have any stamina, but was still productive on the floor. So, I mean, there's just no quitting that kid.
This February, about 8 months after the battle against cancer began, Jordan was cancer-free, and his incredible comeback has been an inspiration to his little sister.
It's like he can do anything now, but I'm not positive he can do anything now, but I'm just excited that he made it through it.
Jordan's return to the diamond has been impressive. His on-base percentage this season is about .900, and he steals around 4 bases per game.
After they told me it was all done, I just felt like I was invincible.
A boy small in stature, but big in heart. Kamen Entchev, KOMU8 Sports, Columbia.